Parliament, Brekum West. Honorable, so you have any. And I'm going to question the audio on the translated that. I'm ready. Honorable Andrew Japamesa. Mr. Catcher, Papa. Man, Aquaba. We are saying more for Aquabanza. Honorable.
See
Aquaba.
Yeah, Munir.
Mr. Catcher, Papa. Honorable.
Oh, Nancy, who studio had it now? Must my boycott. Last time, I don't have my boycott. And but of course, now.
I know.
Minche waiting for now. The other day, Mabaha. Well, I believe it was last week or last 2 weeks. You know, Mabaha. He didn't come off fine. Now we know.
Okay.
And then me feed the lady now. I bet you one name.
Oh, no man, so
no. Excitedly, them in him there. Maybe she a fine lady, Sana.
The woman.
One of my to Habim. It's good to see you. Oh,
good to see you. Good to see you too. Good to see you.
Minche waiting for you.
Maybe for Jodo. Honorable Chebia.
See,
Martin.
Lawyer, so 10 and catch it.
Yeah. Nifia on the
oh, yeah, Juma.
Nifia. Oh, yeah, Juma. Lawyer, okay, and then radio, TV.
There 1 month in strategies in Kuano said them. Or must about me agenda. When you're quite me agenda is 100%.
About me agenda?
Really? You're too to become 100.
Oh, I see. In fact, it's number one on my topic list.
Message of our idea and AI 2 no.
Oh, how? Na me na for tihaya wo party we to say 2 I don't know. On the same na no person can.
Over 2 no. Over. O say.
E da no buy our beje buy ticket to every no. Ela awu ba hwe mo no.
Over boy MP before you me.
Me unim problem Ghana politics women say partisanship prama sebi do na than is huge because asem no kura da one person beka because your party asem but wo kasa no we ne namfofo no obusuafo tie wo if you are making sense nipa etie and na why partisan political lens etino we be defend indefensible at the end of the day yemi ensa ne wa but nipa wo mutie e doso etu because now na pa na ekeka nsem we it's going to be an indictment on your personality. It will make any presentation ensure say one kasa if you pay na worker e ma party sign push you e da no de ne ye ka no the old target me no.
Oh, they be of on a lighter note.
How on earth?
Of on a lighter note.
Right, it's MSM Komono Ase. The New Patriotic Party, and a pair Krata Adom Hanuma, New Patriotic Party to invite all presidential hopefuls, takes disciplinary action against the Bono Regional Chairman, Mr. Kwame Bafo Abronye. Mr. Kwame Bafo Elias Abronye. I mean, kind just the first two paragraphs. I'll say the National Steering Committee of the New Patriotic Party at its meeting on Tuesday, June 24, 2025, resolved as follows. 1. To invite all personalities who have so far publicly declared their intention to contest in the forthcoming MPP presidential primary to a joint meeting with the steering committee and the National Council of Elders. The meeting, which is expected to discuss matters of mutual interest, is scheduled to take place on Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. 2. Refers to Bono Regional Chairman Mr. Kwame Bafo Elias Abronye to the party's National Disciplinary Committee for breaching directives of the National Council, cautioning him to refrain from making unguarded comment. 3. Directs the immediate cessation of all caucuses or associations of present and former past executives, government appointees, holding meetings with presidential aspirants in breach of party regulations. The party wishes to once again remind members of their constitutional obligations to protect party unity, to abide by and publicly support the party's decisions and to refrain from engaging in acts that threaten party cohesion. Signed, Justin Kodia Frimpong. So that is, and I attend so say, Ora campaign, so Aton Sadia Fre, presidential aspirants, no, Enina. Honorable Edapamesa, Mamensha Simfio, this letter coming from the party, a step in the right direction, you say?
Certainly. Osande, yen presidential primaries process, no. So far, and some yeritity, tension all arise. Obey here the party painful. Waba share and wanna we indicate either directly or indirectly one intention that will contest yen primaries nibino. Na yetum ye manage the process no. Na ye reduce tension. Ozan CJ na yebedi no kwara in any contest be of this nature biano. Etim na kam ekon bi ado baba. Obi ba try do baka and some na wama ono wenya advantage over no opponent. Yen supporters, especially, binyum be overly enthusiastic. Baka kan sama okotubo wiase no na or how party no post the primaries no in the unity building process no. And see obehia the party painful hitting was start yai over for aspirants ni na wetum when you need in common na ya hwe na yetum ya manage tension in a heat rise out of an elections process no. Am de bia maka the sabi wan say na so nyakro and see bia approach issues differently. No come go tin da nka sam no o etetetetetetetea ibia wa right double support ibia opedo supporting but minjibinzi the or there etuma on the mind will be as means of our edible rise one kasabo strength will be ano na eton yes meditum there sometimes no what we call SWOT analysis. Yes. If our strength, weaknesses, opportunities
and threats. Yeah.
Threats.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, no, evaluate your opponent in some sense. But we can be measured even in that assessment. I may indicate bimam war. To my mind, since the support yen candidate for 2024 no on say ne persona ne knowledge ne appreciation of the issues ne humility ne approachability ne competencies as far as I'm concerned on say.
But the party says here that it is against the party constitution to make such public declarations. It is here. This is an appeal making canny.
Well, me feel that I identify a category of people in the
and what are they? Former party executives, government appointees, holding. And government appointees. You are a former government appointee.
Makawan.
I know.
Okay. Now, open declaration, my friend. But so those are the things. Me feel the Bishian Kofu. Na Maria campaign na ma ibia mo support na ma highlight. I don't necessarily have to undermine other contestants, no, because in any event, and when I'm anyone. So far, I want to declare either directly or indirectly. No, I know all of them. Binyum ko school, me seniors were school. One I kufu ya muni anu mpanyinfo one I kufu. Ebinyum ma me year mates. My kufu ya our parliament. Be the ma muni akra. And see, I don't see why other me create animosity. Ma can some be for one and sana must I highlight the strengths of my candidate. But like I said, in saying no yakro. Obi feel the hey, mun come buga. I don't know about one. But that's why leadership of them to try and moderate the different perspectives and crossover in advancing the cause of their own interest, if you like, because ultimately that's what it is. It boils down to it. Be our support a candidate. Be politics is all about interest, isn't it? And see, that's my take. And so I think that it's in the right direction. Before then, along the line, no, obesi, ozande, yeko primaries be there's an undertaking. Candidates no was signed to abide by the outcome of the results, to conduct themselves in accordance with the constitution, as you know. But this is coming a little earlier, probably because of the heat and attention.
But I'm also thinking this should have come a long time ago. It would have cured Nansen MMDCs, na MPs, our parliament, our call, Dr. Baumiano Hona Dinina. It would have cured it.
Me sure they post this engagement, no, them meetings, no, on Kodo. Was the MMDCs were key stakeholders. Parliamentary candidates and the MPs were key stakeholders. Any serious aspirant to be will want to meet them and have an engagement with them. As to whether Yemubinum about endorse candidates be is another issue.
Yeah.
And I stand advised. I don't see what is even wrong with declaring a support for candidate B. Because Montibiano more a little bit of influence.
Absolutely.
They look up to me. They Mr. Mesa, I'm here for an oracle. And where I'm going no, is where they are likely to go. Maybe I'm individually. It's how they're going to know where I'm going, leaning towards her, and also what just
you can't do that on my platform.
No, I'm saying that and so there has to be an opportunity,
yes,
for people to express themselves, who they support.
But that opportunity should be sanctioned by the party.
Honestly, I'm messing there. Yes, why can there for now? It should not be done. But I'm not sure that will be an injunction that is perpetual. I'm sure they want to control the narrative at this point until such time that ABI nominations,
okay,
Mankofa file, then people can begin to endorse. I'm not so sure. Marty, the minority leader, ended that front page of graphic.
Yes.
He was making a statement to the effect that Mama MPs will endorse candidates. I don't know. Everywhere in the world it's done. Donald Trump or contest election. You saw senators endorsing who they are lending their support to. I don't know any advanced democracy endorsements or prohibited. And see, I don't know, but like I said, maybe it's for a good reason that for now, let's reserve that. Let's engage. Na yenhwe hawa yeba fashion some roadmap which would avert the discordance, this unity, or which will avert disunity post the primaries, because ultimately we as a political party yen policies and programs are ye feel there obobo magana wako kano ono no there ye united neton magana for as we prepare for election 2028. Obi Bekede is too early. I don't think so, because MPP as a political party, yen responsibility is to hold government in check.
Okay.
Yen members of parliament are doing that forcefully. Yen communicators, yen party leadership are doing it forcefully. It doesn't under any circumstances prevent us from organizing ourselves for the next election.
All right.
And the time we do it is squarely within our purview. And I don't think that the talk, I've seen some talk on social media, some of the civil society organizations, actors, we are making comments. Of course, some of them openly campaigned for the NDC in 2024. So I don't even know why they have a business in coming to speak about what MPP is doing at this point. But they have a right to do so. I'm only saying that we as a party have a right to also determine when we start our reorganization, including selecting our leadership that will prepare us for selling our message to the Ghanaian in 2028.
Honorable Lawyer Andrew Ejapames, a former member of Parliament, 2nd D, and Yete Nkano. Honorable, Mamem Tio and Yanko
say their national executives, Shia or Alisa, that very day, Adiachi Yameba Ushu, so I've not departed from my earlier position. Say a coup, especially political party. Now, respect for the rules of the game, discipline, and yejuma. This is the result you get. Say, Osha the Ekoso MPP more. Na lawyer kase civil society organization for be campaigning my NDC, and they don't have any business even talking about the internal affairs of the party. In fact, me as NDC member of parliament, no me business talking about it, because it's about the democracy and the way party be organizing in opposition. And a party do ba by mo ade obeye, because the warning signs were clear in 2014, 2015, 2016. Na MPP headquarters or more bomba twa se kan ne ade ewo ho chaos ada ekoso sabre no. That time Ghanaians be brain warning say MPP was not ready for power. To abama MPP ba power, you know the outcome. And why is in opposition, the way you organize yourselves, chaos ne no ma ebe koso no e will effect when you're given opportunity to govern. And it is in our interest as Ghanaians, as defenders of democracy, say, yebechre yadwen, the ekoso, ewo NDC, the ekoso MPP, and of course, Ghana, a democracy. Inti, the ekoso MPP, mono, it boils down to, say, omompe se, fairness be ye juma. Now say, one ma level playing field, these are the outcomes, unya. The day Omushia wa national executive meeting. In fact, my report impression ana ye gada say party for no more interest in have been consulted about early election of the flag bearer money idea. But the air course say clearly it shows a majority of those who intend to contest against processes are air course. Comrade Japan has spoken. I've heard Ira Kennedy Japan speaking. I've also heard about a number of them. The air course they don't agree. CJ, the air course me to deal has said, acquire say scratch my back, I scratch your back. MPP executives, especially at the national. Who say form enye grassroots say among tuaba edi free branches akwa constituency akwa regional abedu national, about 60-70% of current executives will go. Enti the omo yene say executives na omoto aba last time ekoyi yewura ba obiano yemfa nipa kakra bi mbeka ho former appointees ni ade mbeka ho no mo ankoto. The implication is say ye koto esen yi yewura ba omia ma betena se ya next year ye beto branch elections a ye beto aba you no CJ say yanzu ye tena se eto ye adwuma so ye constituency for a ye to aba you no ye to aso ye adwuma enye ye regional. So that is the strategy. Na no na the chaos eba say omuntume enso ano no nti de ebesre ne se omunhwe se periperi ye ebe ye adwuma na omo atoto no ma yie na lawyer can be say open declaration eya the papa in some cases. But one may also ask, are we suggesting say national executive Justin Koduamone national chairman more be to the processes no omonso enye open declaration ana because the members of parliament former appointees obia to me chire na dwen ewo nipa openly opena then what happens? So that one I don't have any opinion on that, but these are issues make us say course say Abronye is facing this disciplinary committee we share and normal course so clearly baby MPP Genesis say no it tells us say the makano discipline enye adwuma and fairness na enye adwuma na no and ama yehunu de yehuni besije me primary concern is say NDC for my yenye complacent say MPP is in turmoil enti ye complacent say oh ye what we need to do ne say confidence Ghana for nya wo party mo de to abama ye 188 members of parliament and inshallah ye be sign de ba ko na aka na be ka ma na ye 189 na sa confidence no na wo say ye to aso ye adwuma den na baby say sidi na pagya ni mu akoduru ye tumi strengthen no further baby a petrol prices ba from 8 consecutive times petrol eguso air drop e kofom every 8 consecutive times
honorable because we are dealing with the party internal policies and structures. One factor and a be better now the neglect of the party hierarchy on the grassroots about the grassroots for no adeba kwa ha MPP for pa eno mobile ye afikura munyan but already sa sentiment no afiase ya epeja na ho kakra and that is what we will do for say who say obi edan obi aboju say
na was exactly I mean you've hit the nail right on the head idea and this you take it for granted and I can tell you lawyer na wo ha na on my can say mache since 2012 and I'm a attempt to say member parliament that time party at that level consensus so I've been on the front line 2016 I won the primaries became the candidate 2019 I won the primaries became candidate 2023 I won the primaries so for over 20 for almost 15 years on the front line to minim grassroots consensus and 2016 that was for me the number one factor send your grassroots no mora e form enti oka grassroots support na ye be motivate you omo edidija emma a very important. Having said that the mesre say I fully appreciate and understand the grassroots because having stayed in opposition for 8 years ye ba mu na obi abepese at least obenya recognition in 10 but the mesre say you were 4 years to stay in power enti ye nya abotre and I'm very confident because when we meet ye hunu mfonso a ye year no the last 8 years 2009 to 2017 a ye ba mu and impact ye nya our grassroots morale and grassroots mobilization I lead to that massive defeat ye nya no 2016 eti te sɛ deɛ waka no dua akwakuo ananseɛ de awuo no nti kuma ɛnkɔtena seɛ ɛntonko. So I think that we should learn our lessons in a very good way. Now, your focus enye hawa ye beye adwumaden, put the economy on track. Now, buffers say yedigu akwan mu so that external pressures ebeba no impact no ebeye minimize. Ye tumi to ye noma na ye grassroots ye so ye to ye noma year. I'm very confident say 2028 Ghana for better wire so na on better wire so massively CJ ye ka MPP de no na ye nso ye say ye toto ye no ma yie isane say President Mahama emreso na President Mahama enko bie mu a it means say e wo say ye nya successor and you know say certain bia incumbent president no en contest biem na nipa foforo ba na competition no temperature no was soro. We saw in MPP in 2007 omo primaries ye nyina anim Yewura Rollins he free ho in year 2000 Professor Mills ba ye nyina hunu ye see ye ma that time party chairman mo obeda samoamo de course so ye nyina hunu ye titam bia incumbent no ezetia succession plan no difficult, so we should not rejoice. Ewo MPPDA na mom yanzu ye put your hearts together. Said ye be manage post President Mahama era no ama ye very smooth succession plan.
Okay.
And I'm very confident. Said ye be ma ye de no nye den kese say performance ne track record of President Mahama eja to ho no. Obi a ye be yi na mana step in no will be easier for us to campaign.
All right.
Etiyen to ye no ma yie say yenso edu say ye flag bearer ye bedwene party no ho kane na ye unite enya nipa ba akon ye nyina be rally behind na yetumi akwa ni but ye si wa MPP mu no it is a lesson for us. It's an say by and by ye wa ban mu nti no ye constitution no say ye be ye flag bearer 1 year to the election. So going by that strictly 2027 there is also another school of thought say because President Mahama and BM no should we do it a bit earlier. All these are on the table, but whatever decision you be taking on the party interest should be paramount.
All right.
And minim say NDC or track record having learned from post President Rollins who share subsequently your leadership contester by and large ayana kama.
Right.
And this time round this shall also pass smoothly.
Meda say honorable that's papa Adom 106.3 FM. Me of akwesi ado dike wafa MPP rebuilding strategy say we near the akira fenia ya bedru eni endo afi de krata no ankasa efri amayuko no mo aba ma menje wadwenche wafa
yo meda say CJ me chia me nuanu mam no bedi dwuman ene atifo magibreti 2028 elections akwesi ado dike meko as independent candidate mejinam mini political party meko independent candidate and mo follow me ko only independent candidate e betima sesa Ghana partisanship edoma we connect papa but amanfo na nwene ho and I follow American for a system blindly without the records to understand say the two environments are not the same and to say your carbon copy model of governance say it will never work. Partisan democracy you be 100 years Ghana you be lose your BPR if 1992 ba near Ghana was a call blaster line a call industries a call bibia na ye ade be mo manager say ye quiet yen show na efriensa it is why badwen ba na adwen Ghana ho a eni kwase also so multi party democracy so kraba kokra say trans say just oppose multi party democracy is inception the loss of Ghana in care ye national introspection ubon say emwa yakwan bia so it's only the political class and abo awo it be bia na wo mu full soldiers ebu ofu no because it's those at the top notch it didn't talk gina MPP mu den no obi apeso lead and everybody is rallying behind somebody sebaya okwa or also be benefit from candidate no my brother
for your open declaration.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a nyane.
Oh yes.
So
union government.
And union government. That be nyane.
All inclusive government.
In fact, me. That be I am meaning make
yes, model no. By marriage. And yes, we put two square pegs in round holes. We na boa party. Yes, I
did not have a message.
Me say, yeah, model. What can we book? One structures a union government here, and you be any partisanship. No, a kangan of wood boom. Now selected the cream of the cream.
Of I am going to be for seven.
MPP. The Ricano. Before I go there, NDC. Mia ma die na rikupukum obe unity Judicial zebra matete obe unity ese odun keti amatete obe unity
no MPP asem na ye
me ba se
wo fa
me oh yedi masa yedi
obi na MPP asem
me ba oh masa unum say political party a national asset, do you know that?
Oh, yes.
And NDC a phone quad and NDC Omudiao. And an MPP phone quad MPP. Meba. Obia a potential to form government. Now, government never will be doing so. Do you understand? It is a MPP NDC Odiko. I was again in Libya interest, say, any power then what they two tables. Am I? It's very paramount. Now, Eric, Namishrao. So what Oria ba matini na MPP mo MPP is a very formidable party, but of late greed and parochial interest are overriding omo party interest. MPP problem mo kese pa no individual interest are overriding the party interest. Party for no dodo na hu ni say na kufa do bad legacy na obejaye no na ma ni leadership basabasa no affect party no mindset, affect party no character, affect party no direction, and amomanya problem no mo ha nya yakufa do na etwa sabone ma mo it will be a visa na na do buy no we enemy booksum we wanka me ho we mitimi nya adwuma and almost so woman go Nanado G Mutumo, woman did it peche. It woman MPP for one say, Sasana Tedia, and then we could jump by me cheat in India or by Medidi. We could jump where cheat in India or by Medidi. Anna, woman, how a party crabs are when election, let alone a Didianaba. Woman, how in a honor. Says it is so be a lotu, no as a mutual lotu and media. Metobens are women front. Lot of young could try. So be this uni. Now I started. Omu problem say MPP. Omu nya open heart surgery. Anya candidate asem crowd. So omu the candidate asem ba se ya. Me say we have 25% kromunya. Me na me catch am. Opa ko boni date. And now me ne boy ba kwa ten. Ye ko Angel FM. Angel TV. So dike and some can Kumasi now walk can any tie wa and kidney opposition. The MPP Omunya, the woman nam quadrupia campaign from Nina a waste of time. First thing, and it say MPP by serious reforms in the party, especially delegate system, especially flag bearer manifesto, also party manifesto, more technocrats in the party. More agrek, more education, na put a document together. Say party no, what about flag bearer no? Ye niswadi una ye riba be digana swini. Anya a flag bearer no so ye. Say the Kufa de Denya was Mikusi Cathedral, a man, a man for the Bufo, a Tutiamo. Our Samu party manifesto is strictly to be adhered to by whoever emerges the candidate. Number 2, delegate system. Any super delegate system nina ehunya. The entire ehunya say, more problems on benya replacement of say delegates everywhere. A kwa structures ben ye be first wa ye be ni pa mayama mo. Mayeda the kitchen and the BCC here so on consult to me. Problem no matter they how mu nyina ma solve. Na mumfa nwakwem top bottom approach me na mekano first e Ghana and that is what we need. But in structures be ka ho. Anya no nko a say the mo pese mo ye no say mu wiasa akototo aba bibra e be set party no. Sa system ye to about once but a geneti polling station constituency regional national executives that number to mu we ya ni nyina is in place. Etimu nkobobo ka enkoyi posters we koya debi eno so no sas mo de na maye no e ka party bom den obia no benya kwa atwe no e saso ma unity eba and a cost effective because we are candidate na luso a unsha da mo ka bebrebe bia na akoka okra wakoma and share mu no e sa bring all the contestants together as I do move structures any what do we call it campaign team no amomuna enya one team work at the year juma most also manifesto da just like I said wa bebe bia no na de koya juma woni fufuro bi aseye manifesto team na year juma now input we are the koma wo mo we are candidate we what declare intention. What the common say, Mitimu Pobini on education on way, will be adding the economic formulative. Wow, be dear Mona, say, Cratana de Koyajuma. Party for any DHD, say, when you can't say Yamagana for, it's no matter about mine. Go straightly by what we've presented to Ghanaians. I've heard the Anoton Chaya, who say, anybody be interested in, you know, they don't want to listen to anything. Ba umia ne pese de ne ba mu ya dan ya ba umia sa igo no say MPP as am common sense ya bom so to speak mo pe power when you betima me age power enye de wo po who is there to win the election for us sometimes we meet before obi outside MPP awo ye ayisemasa baby ya duro no ya hu sa we popular Ghana for tie eti e person be kan ho na ubedi to me man.
But this is the party almost just they have the men.
Oh kwaku for kan ya meto men no dum bai omum ko jina courtroom e court judge wo mu
ofa
who say MPP character no kufu be sesan no na MPP party na edda kama
sije utie ofa ayini ye
they
statement who can say omo men
oh
metro men no more
metro men na say so
on bed performance or the metro
as I buy cross any cigar and can metro is him no and I see the cat was a massa tia break who's o ma swap o mu party character no akwaje MPP NDC to trust him no wo hwe din a efri 1992 no na NDC na ya describe wom so mu ya to trust him for but say no MPP akoswap to trust him no and NDC was there be you call that tangent no a higher crime it is hard ya so you sit up it MPP for no out of power desperation no a moment to go back to their roots and where they are coming from it will not lose some identity as a party.
All right, over now see for me.
Hey, see your mom power.
Over there midana. Oh, time na kadina.
What lose some
solutions.
Oh yeah.
Consult free consultancy.
Memu full scale. Me so me the aduma and talk about currency. No be the best candidate also to lead them. Ghana for ni be sa candidate no. But do mo ya no as o my desperate say ya kofie also 4 years time yes aba so be saba ye na kwan wo ye woni am so di gu akwan mu a ebe convince both the party members and the floating at large. But as we said, we can do Kubia, we be antimi mebongram, but Munko for the Nakra, a castle to Amamo, Emamo, and Wayne, Unim, Domama, only 140,000 per becan, the previous elections of vote. But you see, are they 800,000 new entrants to the voters' register? Do you know what it means? What it means is that Domama and NDC weren't attractive to Ghanaians enough. But the behavior of MPP, one behavior and a consumer, and you are still working in your past mistakes. Look, Baumia will lose 2 million people and Uncle to Abakura. And yes, as I'm getting 2 million as a automatically Quebec Baumia de Wako. Absolutely. But you see,
but of 2 million no MPP.
Oh,
2024, what happened? They say, a mamua 8 years and another de buy no. A bagana MPP don't. Oh, mommy, on a boutique. Said MPP for the I got your mama 8 million, 2 million coca mamma. Me part of my oh, what honorable the supporters in Quabit me at that's a fact. Mumia Lucobia registered 2 million people. Mukomo Katema. Obiano meba o masa nyabotre. Besi nyabotre. Nyabotre dey e kwasho mu so mu na wo power. They should have done something to convince those who refuse to vote. Emom kotoma wo mu. Do that make sense here? Oh. Masa, mami ka semba control.
Over.
You're mama.
Over a time in
Mami. Yeah, Ghana economy and society. Put this at the back of Mami Kasam to be a businessman. Listen to me. Me sit here me ye. Fufu e twan 10 series. Umuda su twan 10 series. Tieni ye pa o. Mensere any person am no kan. Mo hwe ya you be overswayed by ade ama Ghana for nia ye happy kakra ye. Nebukadnezar no free so. Kufuado. Eno pe and the organogram of the government no assistant.
All right, offer.
Na me catch them say.
Me da say.
Munyina ye because we receive of form. If you care to know the nam form,
me da say.
Yeah, until I'm kusamu. You shut down kwa kantamanton wura. And the kind of dollar na buy dollar na swat na adentina and affect goods and services. Over. Do you know why?
Very honest. You will baby.
Massa. Ordinary person some you can say. Choba, go to Choba. Fufu ahida $2 no nane board no
for petrol.
Oh, tie me
akwasia dey odike me da se papa ona bo wan so na wo ma ofa ne ka say.
I guess I get you. Me friend me car, me a private man. But passenger car na e dey board dey buy no. Board na so nti o. Go to Isilegon. Board dey mu twa no for 7 cities no. Unra ubesu
me da say ofa kwesi ade odike me da se papa Adom 106.3 FM now. Supreme Court judges Nsem no enra minority they in fact opposed it. Honorable Japamesa now I mean you are a former member of parliament. Your reaction to another anamona minority for briefly and we can do about just 2 minutes.
Sina odike msrao Akufo-Addo naban onye perfect. But to describe it, they say in the book at Neza. On what basis? Oh, maybe I'm asking a rhetorical question. I was privileged to serve in his government.
Yeah.
And I know the work that he did to advance the cause of our country. We face major challenges as a government. Major. Kofupi kadeo excuse. And Iran, Israel, we are being told that we should take steps to safeguard the potential impact. Right? Akufo-Addo faced major problems with the debt that he inherited in the energy and the financial sector. He spent so much money that we didn't have to deal with them. He was saddled with COVID. Yes, he got grants, but government of Ghana borrowed huge sums of money during COVID-19 to deal with the problems. I'm telling you, the data is there. Okay? Post that, we all saw the impact of our breach of the law. When you have a parliament breaching the laws of Ghana in the passage of the 2022 budget, where you approve the revenue, you approve the expenditure, you approve the appropriation, and refuse to pass some of the revenue measures contrary to Section 22 of the Public Financial Management Act, it will have consequences. You saw the capital flight that took place. It was real. Okay? And in the midst of that, we saw a global war, a war in Ukraine, Russia, that disrupted global supply chain challenges. In fact, even in almighty America, toilet roll crowd was being rationed. As a matter of fact, freight cost escalated. You mentioned inflation, that's why I'm going there. You mentioned, either you or him, one of you mentioned inflation. Cost being what? You are largely import dependent. And if your freight cost moves from average $2,500 to $15,000 per 20-footer container, it would cost more on the market. These are matters of fact. Oh yes, and the freight cost one go. It didn't go there. Oh, Mr. Freight cost one go. But when it started reducing, we saw the repercussion. Inflation started trending downwards under Akufo-Addo. Oh yeah, yes, you may disagree with him. Some of his policies, cathedral, you may be right. I felt that it was good for our country, especially having worked in the Ministry of Tourism as minister.
Yeah.
If we had gotten a national cathedral, it could pay for itself in less than 5 years. It would have been a huge investment. In the Ghana, to Groma, every important state event be a car park. Yaman, a glorified name, forecourt of the state house. It's a freaking car park. That's where we have our state events. And if as a country, look, we can build a multi-purpose facility. Yes, we call it National Cathedral, which will help us, one, serve as a venue for state events, and also tourism, Bible museum. And our people go to La Louvre in Paris. Go there, they queue. In Paris alone, there are more than 200 museums. Remember. So, me, I feel very offended. You may disagree. After all, why? People, he's not perfect. He made mistakes. Some decisions that he took. Yes, on hindsight, you will do differently. Okay? Mr. Mahama did the same in this previous government. Now, everybody is hailing him as an angel. You understand? So, I'm saying that you can criticize.
All right.
But words like Nebuchadnezzar and all those kinds of things, and
all right.
Political discourse. Look, I'm Mark Kikra. And that time, about 2 seconds, Mamma, got him if you attend Ramoko. Supreme Court judges, no. Can congratulate one. I'm a lawyer for 20 years. 20 years at the bar. Many of them, time I started practice, no, it be more private practice. No, it be more so crowd high court. And see, I've practiced before many of them in my career as a lawyer. And so I know them personally. I have relationships with some of them. Personal. They are eminently qualified to be appointed to the apex court of our country. Now, and I pay many this or Belgium
TV.
Now, mutu wonderful. Oh, ma Morocco, and you must know. One and some cacano, ewa. One and some caca in opposition. Our Benema warrior differently. No more generate the kind of friction. And see, you saw what happened in Parliament. But go back to the vetting. Minority MPs, Duduna were congratulating these judges for their nomination. But when it came to the vote, as minority, will have our say. The majority will have its way. And see, or they draw Ghana for one attention to in some work in the opposition. Wabra legitimate vacancies about the whole in the courts, in the judicial court of judicature. I'm paying beyond sort to no door fail. And that you heard them mentioning numbers. And see, is it the case that everyone's about Benemono? Oh, Mama, Merba. They were.
What vacancy be in the better?
So why? What you call it?
Supreme Court or the Constitution.
Gloria Kufu did not retire.
No, if you retire when it is less than 9, that is when there is a vacancy. If you have anything 9 and above, there is no vacancy.
Now, court no. There is a customary number that we've operated with around 15.
He said.
Because of the constitution is specific on a 9.
Yeah, that it has to have at least 9.
9, yes.
Yeah.
9. So if you have 13, 14, and somebody goes to retirement, the word vacancy.
Why yen Supreme Court? Yen court to me 9 members. Now we operate in the region of 15. Some are recommending 20. Is because every case we originate to a high court biano or right of appeal to Supreme Court. America on them. In the cases are Okoyan courts. There are too many there. 9 judges cannot deal with them. It will take years. In fact, in the crown with that kind of numbers here, cases go Supreme Court, it stays there for years.
Honorable Japamesa.
And see, it's important that we understand because you are in government today. I say, or you're 9. No, so, why? Please. I was saying that vacancies occurred and the president had to make appointments. As a vacancy BNC because in the Supreme Court, or 9. So, why are you appointing to 7 more to 20? One summoner what canoe. Please. Let me make my point.
Your point has been well made.
You are in government,
Honorable.
Also, Akufo-Addo appointed 138 high court judges. Okay, no problem. As far as I know, even court of appeal judges because there is shortage of judges in the high court. We appoint people as additional high court judges. In terms of a researcher, reduce it by 80. Reduce it by 80.
All right, but that's it. Honorable, Honorable.
For the 138.
But that's it.
That's why these judges have been appointed.
All right.
So if you politicize it,
but that's it.
So lawyer,
if there is no opposition, that may not pack the Supreme Court.
Lawyer recommended 20 Supreme Court judges. 87 back home.
You have your time. Yes, sorry.
CJ.
Yeah.
Quick one. Said it. Lawyer Kaino and Nura Parliament you approve judges no ye hunu judges no e wo vetting time niming ka ye be call on background very competent say justice fantastic judge Jamefe fantastic in fact some of them far back in 2010 15 years e wo appeals court enti Nura ye share wo parliament na adea enwanwa kakra nze CJ te say na lawyer ka no mo hwe vetting no bi minority fo wo ho congratulating nominees no but they do final report no minority fo no nyina vote tutia
only say your mom say can say na are there any lessons we can learn
no
as a country
CJ,
and make
CJ let's look at this and that was addressed by the majority leader. Sir, 2 judges are last minute na nado and nominate your more. Now then opposition can say yen train because ye ba be to aba. Supreme Court no here minimum of 9. Already 14 were hodada. 82 call retirement ye be to aba then I won't yen train ye 2 years na se ba o me na beba no be nominate or me nominate because yen fall below 9 and waka said there is crisis ye nominate and nominate obi wo ha enye ye. So they are totally different issues altogether. But my point is say minority for now omo heli nominees ni ade no they voted against a bar plenary and ra ye debate we still they vote a lot of hairlines. We 126 2 whenever they